Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, I'm Jill, and today I'm doing a little bit of a different video than my usual. My typical videos is a lot of cooking and just kind of day in the life, bringing you along. But today I'm doing a Q&A to celebrate hitting 20,000 subscribers. Saying that out loud just sounds so crazy. I can't believe I am saying that, and this is my reality. I started this channel almost a year ago just as a hobby and passion of something outside motherhood, and I can't believe that we have grown it this big. And actually, as we're speaking, I think we have over 20,000. Let's check. We have 23,811 people. That is crazy. And I guess for reference, when I look back on this video in the future, this is September 19th, 2025. Wow. So about 3 weeks ago, once I hit the 20,000, I asked you guys to ask me any questions that you're interested in, just because I have so many new faces around here because this channel has been growing so quickly. And I got a decent amount of questions, maybe around 20 or so. So we'll get to as many as I can. And while I do that, I'm going to be cleaning and maybe doing a little bit of cooking, whatever I can get to, because my to-do list today is like never ending. It's so long. And if you're wondering where Makai is, my mom has him for a couple hours. So I'm gonna do as much as I can in those couple hours before he gets back home. And another thing I want to mention before I start the video is thank you guys for all your love towards my video and my channel. I'm doing a small giveaway, so all the details for that will be at the end. And without further ado, let's get into the cleaning and questions, because like I said, I have a lot to do. Our house is usually not this messy. It's kind of embarrassing I'm showing this on the internet, but this is real life. We've been out of the house a lot this week just because life things that we had to deal with, adult things, and because of that we have been getting home late in the evening, and I clean and I don't know, it just doesn't stay clean, guys. I don't understand. I only have one child. So we'll just get into the questions because that's what we're here for. Yeah, there's 18 questions and some of the questions have multiple, so we'll just get to as many as we can. And if this video is going to be super long, we'll just do a part 2. So the first question is, are you plant-based and what is your reason behind it and why did you decide? I really don't like to label my diet just because I don't really think there's a necessity to it, and my diet's hard to fit into a specific label or like a specific box, because I would say technically most of the time I do eat plant-based. However, I'm not plant-based because that's most of the time. I guess if you had to label my diet, it would be vegetarian, although I just gravitate towards liking a plant-based diet, meaning like I don't really eat a lot of dairy or eggs. I don't completely eliminate it out of my diet just because I find that very restrictive. And I'm still on the journey of doing a lot of research of like what's healthy, what's not, what's actually more sustainable. I used to be completely vegan and I did it for health reasons and the environment. But I just find the more you look into it, like it's not necessarily true. I think each body's different, and what works for your body is different for what may work for my body. And when it comes to the planet, actually the most sustainable way you can eat is locally. Yes, maybe there's less emissions that go into producing vegetables over raising a cow. However, if you have to get all that vegetable shipped to you versus you can get some ground beef locally, then that's actually the more sustainable option. So my diet has definitely switched over my lifetime, but I have been at least vegetarian since I was like 11 and I'm now 26. And I decided to do that way just because of I was influenced on the internet. That was a huge raw vegan banana freely girl era, and I just specifically like that way of eating. I don't like the taste of meat. I never did. Even as a young child I would cry, but I was forced to eat meat just because that's what my parents thought was healthy. But as I got older, like around that age, 11, 12, my parents gave me more of an authority to choose what I wanted to eat. So that's basically how long I've been vegetarian. And now for my reasons of eating that way is more just kind of like what I like, and my body personally, the way it's built, I find does best on very like a lot of fruits and vegetables. That's what I like and that's what fuels me, but that can be different for somebody else. I just got a package in the mail and I'm so excited to open it up and show you guys what I got. It's a pair of sunglasses by a brand named Kraywoods. I actually don't own a pair of sunglasses and haven't basically ever because I'm kind of sensitive with stuff on my face. However, I think it's important to protect your eyes from the sun. I find it really hard finding sunglasses that I like, and I found one on this website. The best part is that they're local. It's a Canadian brand and they focus on sustainability, which is really important for me if I am buying something brand new, is finding brands that align with my ethical values of being sustainable, eco-friendly, made out of real materials. Each pair that they have on their website is made with real wood, and everything they have for their sunglasses, blue light lens, as well as glasses, have the option to get it with or without prescription. I don't need prescription, so these are without. So all their pairs are made out of sustainably sourced wood as well as cotton, and they have been making sunglasses since 2016, so almost 10 years now. This is what the package looks like. I love the colors of the green. It says see love, live sustainable. And the model I chose is called Ivy. So if you like them as well, that's what they are on their website. And they're made out of ebony and rosewood. Look how cute these are. Wow. These are so nice. I'm so excited too because we're going to see Kai's family soon in Kauai, and these are gonna be so nice for the trip. I love the color too, that they're a two-tone frame. Look at that. I also like the look of them like just on your head to keep the hair out of your face, and they feel really nice and lightweight. And the lenses are high quality. They come with a polarized lens, and also they are anti-scratch, so it won't affect your vision. You're not going to get a bunch of scratches there like cheap sunglasses. It also comes with a microfiber lens to clean it, as well as a glasses case. You just pop the sides out like that and put them in there. And my favorite part about this brand is that every pair of sunglasses that is purchased, they plant a tree for that, and so far they have planted over 100,000 trees. Thank you so much, Kraywoods, for sending me this beautiful pair of sunglasses. I'm so excited to be wearing these while I drive and also on our upcoming trip to Kauai. Also, I'll have a discount code in the link down below and on the screen if you'd like 10% off your Kraywoods glasses. And back to the questions. Okay, next question. Are you going to homeschool your kid? And that question's kind of something I've thought about ever since I was pregnant. Makai's 2 now, and it's really something we're gonna take as time comes. We're not really making a precise decision right now. Something I spend a lot of time thinking about just because the way the world is, and I see how influential children are to each other. And I find, at least where we live, a lot of the kids are raised playing lots of video games, watching TV, and a lot of things that I personally wouldn't like Makai watching, or games I wouldn't like him playing from a young age, or even the food, that conventional foods that are in children's diets. And I don't want Makai to be raised that way. Those are all things I value a lot, is like, right now, no screen time. And when he gets older, maybe incorporating it a little bit, but kind of monitoring what he's watching. And I just want him to have a good influence in these formative years and where we live. Not to say how others raise their children are bad, or not dissing people that, you know, give their kids screen time or candy or let them play video games from a young age. It's just, I don't want Makai to be raised that way. And when they go to school, and I can see it in my nieces and nephews and other children, they're so influenced by the other kids. They just want to be like them. So if all the kids in that class are playing a certain video game or whatnot, that's what they want to do. I don't want Makai doing those things. And I know some can say it's controlling, like when he gets into the real world, blah, blah, blah. But I think like during these young years, they're so formative, and they can have a big influence in their adult lives and the habits they develop. I guess he's 2, so he'll start school in 3 years if he goes to kindergarten. I don't know where life will bring us in 3 years, so I don't want to say a definitive answer, because maybe I'll have to go back to work and there's no choice. I don't think school is the worst option or the worst choice. I just think homeschool gives you more of a flexibility to kind of allow them to learn what they're interested in and be more open with their schedule, let them sleep more, you know, have being able to provide more healthy meals and making sure they're not eating candy from other kids, just stuff like that. Next part of the question asked, what is my opinion on screen time? And for my opinion, it's for me, my personal family. I wouldn't judge another family on what they do, but we personally don't do any screen time. Makai is almost 2. I really don't think screen time is necessary, but I also know everyone's situation is different. Number one priority is my son and taking care of him and raising him. And there's definitely been instances where it's tempting to put him on a screen like, I need a break, or I have to get this thing done, or I want to film this, and you know, he's needing my attention. But when those thoughts come in, I think to myself, what's my number one priority? And it always comes back to Makai. And again, not that screen time is the devil or evil. It's just for our family, that's a value of mine, is having no screen time, at least when he's this little. And we'll reevaluate when he's a little bit older. We try to get outside as much as we can. And he's also at the age where he still naps. So when I do need a break or I need to get something done, I just do it during his nap time. And he's also a very chill temperament baby. That's why I'm saying everyone's situation is different. So just because I say I don't give my son screen time and he's almost 2, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't. When I do these Q&As, I realize how bad I'm at articulating my thoughts and ideas. And then the last part of that is, what are my pantry staples that we always buy in bulk? Basically anything that doesn't go bad quickly, we buy in bulk. Actually, my brother went to Costco the other day because it's across the bridge. We live on PEI, so you have to pay money to go across the bridge still, but they reduced it to $20. When any of my family members go, I just get them to pick up whatever we are low in, because we do eat plant-based. Cashews are a great one for making creamy sauces, or I use it to make whenever I make frosting and stuff like that. So I like to have those on hand. And again, with nuts, I find they last a really long time before going bad. So we always get through it before it goes bad, and then we use them sparingly because they are expensive, so we'll have them for like 6 months. And then I make our own milk at home, our plant-based milk. For that, I use most of the time oats, but I've been trying hemp seed milk instead. So if you want a recipe for that, it's even easier. I'm just gonna put these away quickly, and then I'll take you over and show you some of my essentials on my bookshelf. I don't know if it's just me, or it's probably me because I'm a very organized person and everything has their own spot, but that's like one of the hard things is living with other people. And because, you know, I'm the one at home, I usually do most of the cooking and cleaning. It's not like a sexist or role thing, it's just I'm at home, Kai's not. But because that when he does the cleaning, he doesn't put the stuff back where I usually put it, and then things are everywhere, or I spend more time organizing, or I can't find certain things. Me being picky about how things should be, and that's something I have to work on letting go, is things being a certain way. And I think that's one thing that motherhood has really taught me, is going with the flow, because you don't always have time for things to be perfect or a certain way. Let me know in the comments too if you like it when I'm doing these Q&As, and you can watch it or listen to it when you're cleaning too, or do you like it when I'm sitting down and answering and just talking directly to the camera, because that way there's less background noise and just stuff going on. Okay, let's go check out the pantry staples. Most often in our pantry, for the spices, we do buy in bulk. So I would say some of my essentials are definitely baking soda, baking powder, flour, sugar, salt, things for baking, because we make a lot of bread, and then any sweet treats we want, we make. And then for cooking, lentils. We have brown lentils, red lentils. We use those all the time. They're very cheap. They're full of fiber and protein, so they're a great option for if you're plant-based. But even if you're not, they're still great because they're something that is still very nutrient dense, but will fill you up, and super, super cheap. Rice is something that's also great just to pair with a protein or something to help fill you up. That's also cheap and easy to make. These aren't essentials for everybody, but we do eat a lot of seeds. We use nuts in a lot of things. I always have on hand shredded coconut, almonds, cashews, walnuts, because we make a lot of sauces that use those. Quinoa is just a different option of a grain. This also has more protein and fiber. It's also easy to make. We always have dried cranberries, then dry legumes and beans. So we use chickpeas all the time. If you're not new here, you know that I make hummus in almost any video. We don't even just use chickpeas for hummus. I use it a lot when I'm baking things too, because you don't taste it and it gives it a nice creamy texture and the extra fiber and protein, which is great if you have kids, especially if you have picky eaters, because you can sneak it in there, they won't know, and it'll give you extra nutrients. And then dried black beans we always have, and then some good spices. Some spices we always have on hand are like garlic, onion, salt and pepper, paprika. Really with those you can go really far. And then we always buy our nut butters in bulk. So peanut butter, we have it in the budget. Almond butter, it's a little more expensive, but I love it in smoothies. So we'll have that. Coconut oil, and then always tahini for our hummus. And then for kitchen tools, we've gotten a couple things over the last year, but we started out with the bare basics. So a good wooden cutting board, you only need one. Instead of parchment paper, we like to try to make as less waste as possible. So we like our reusable baking sheet. We use this a lot, as you can see. We're making it do even though it's completely broken. We just try to use things even when they're broken, again, just to create less waste. And then some good pots and pans. We just got a Dutch oven, which has been really nice for making bread. And then some good knives, which I know if you watch any of my videos, you're gonna say, wait right there, Jillian, because your knives suck, they're dull, you're always struggling to cut. And obviously you can make do with dull knives. One of my subscribers, Annika, actually got this off of our Amazon wish list, and I was literally in tears when I opened this. Because like I said, if you watched any of our old videos, I've struggled so much to cut things. In my last video specifically, which I don't know when this will come out, but it's the video where I was making squash soup. I was struggling so much to cut the squash with the knives we had, and it was definitely frustrating. And she was so kind and purchased us a whole new knife set. It'll be a lot more safer when I cook from now on, because I was definitely worried about those dull knives, the pressure I had to put on to cut things, that I would cut myself. And not only that, when I was cutting things like tomatoes or something, I had to put so much pressure into it, it would essentially squish the tomatoes. So for salads, it just wasn't the nicest. If you had to cook it, it was fine. But that is definitely one of my essentials, is knives. And if you have it in your budget, just good quality knives that will last longer. Annika, if you're watching, thank you so much. You don't know how much I appreciate it. That's really all. There's not really many essentials. I know I can get discouraged since I'm kind of in the cooking niche, and I watch some videos of people that do the same thing, and they have all these fancy things. They have a huge kitchen with new cupboards and like all the nice lighting, and they have expensive cameras because they can afford it. And I can get discouraged sometimes because I think videos are never going to be as good because I don't have all that stuff to make all these fancy things, and I don't have the nicest camera, and my kitchen's small, and I have my washer and dryer in it, and it doesn't have good lighting. And then I just have to remind myself that's not the type of message I'm trying to share. The message I'm sharing is that you can make do on what you have, no matter your budget. And no matter your budget, you can still cook healthy meals from scratch. So I hope that my content can get that message across, and that is the message that is getting across to you guys. Not that you need all these fancy things, but really just keep it simple. And even if I impact one person, that's really all that matters to me. And then this question also asked, where do we get our recipes from? And I've always loved cooking, even since I was a young girl. So a lot of them I kind of just DIY and make it myself. Like I kind of know the base things that go into things, and that's why I make a lot of the same meals, just because I can do it off the top of my head, like soups and a lot of baked goods. I'll just kind of eyeball a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know, hummus, granola. Those have things I've been making for honestly over a decade now. When it comes to new recipes, I've been recently using Pinterest. Honestly, I don't know how I never used it before. It is great for finding new inspiration. And a lot of times, unless it's something I really don't know how to cook, I'll see the picture and I'll use that as inspiration and then kind of go from there. Sometimes I'll follow the exact recipe, and when I do, I'll save it to my Recipe app, which I talked about that a couple videos back, and that just helps keep all the new recipes I do want to try organized so I can find them later, because my Pinterest, I have way too many things saved on there. And then for recipe books, honestly, I get some at the thrift store, but I'm really bad at buying recipe books and then never using them. The rest of this comment says, thank you for the informative videos. I am looking forward to making healthy changes with my little family of 4. It definitely feels quite possible now. See, those are the comments that really make my day, and whenever I'm feeling discouraged about my YouTube channel, or that my videos aren't good enough, or you know, my audio sucks because I know it's not the best, comments like that just make it truly feel worth it, because that's really my goal and mission, is just to make other moms or people in general feel empowered and that they can cook from scratch without a big budget and all these fancy tools. So thank you for commenting that. The next comment is from Lemon Tea Pot. Hello from the UK. What sort of upbringing did you have? Your mom seems so lovely and you're a great mommy too. Oh, thank you. That is so sweet. And honestly, my mom is the best. She's so silly and young at heart, which makes it really fun to do anything. And she's just also always there when I need her. She is a great mom. And then my dad is the same way. They're very involved in our life. And I mentioned this a couple times before, my mom takes him every Friday. So I feel so grateful to have that village that most of us lack, and that I have a family that is so helpful and involved in our lives. And for my upbringing, I would say I had a lovely childhood. I think growing up here in PEI was great because small town, and it's very safe here. Crime then was very, very low. It's still safe compared to most places, but there's more crime here as the population grows. So there's no dangerous animals here, no bears or things like that. So we were really given the freedom to explore outside as far as we want as young kids. And our house, even though we were in town, backed onto trails and farmers' fields. So we were really outside a lot in our childhood, but definitely had more of a traditional childhood in the sense of like the foods we ate. You know, my parents gave us hot dogs and mac and cheese and goldfish, and also traditional in the sense where we basically had no limit for screen time and stuff like that, although I did gravitate towards being outside a lot. My parents had 6 kids, so I had 5 siblings. I'm actually a twin, if you didn't know that. So it was also fun just being raised in a big family, and honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. When I was younger, I know sometimes I wish that we didn't have such a large family, just because I felt like we never got things that my friends got that only had, you know, 1 or 2 children in their family, but just because we didn't have the finances. My parents had 6 kids. That's a lot of kids to get things for. As a kid, I would be jealous, like, oh, they get to go to Disneyland, or they get to have this toy or this phone, or go out to eat, and we don't. But now looking back as an adult, I wouldn't change anything. Memories I have with my siblings and the connections and relationships I have with them now. And also it definitely made me who I am today. I would say I'm very hardworking and also a very simple person. I don't need a lot to be happy. I know I already said it at the start of this video, but truly from my bottom of my heart, I wanted to thank each and every one of you who has taken time to subscribe to this channel, to watch my videos, to like and comment. I read every single comment. In order to thank all of you and the opportunities that this channel has given me, I decided to do a 20,000 subscriber giveaway. And I'm not doing a huge giveaway just because right now where we're at, we don't have the means to do anything big, but I still wanted to do something small to show my appreciation. So what I'm doing is giving away one $20 gift card of your choice, and it's going to be an e-gift card, so one that I can pay for it and then email you. So whether you want one for Amazon, or if you're Canadian, Tim Hortons, whatever you want. The rules for the giveaway is that you have to be subscribed to this channel, like this video, and then comment down below the first video that you watched of mine and what made you subscribe. And I will be choosing the winner exactly a month from whenever I post this. So let's say I posted September 30th, then I will choose the winner on October 30th. When I choose the winner, I'll post a community post, and as well as I'll comment down on your comment saying that you won the giveaway. This was an issue I had with the last giveaway that I did with Natural Shoelogy, was that there was 3 winners, and I commented on the video and also made a community post, and only 1 out of the 3 winners saw it, because I know those things don't always get, like, you don't get notifications for. I know when I comment on YouTube videos, I never see the notifications when people reply. So make sure if you do enter the giveaway and you do comment, just to check back in a month or so to see if you won or not, because I wouldn't want the opportunity to get passed. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll just see you in the next one. Bye for now.